Or held. Please ensure your seatbelt is fastened, your seat back is upright, and your tray table is put away. Familiarize yourself again with the location of your closest exit.
Have you ever been absolutely certain about your plans, only to watch every single one of them change? Because that's exactly what happened to me. Yesterday was supposed to be a simple travel day. My bags were packed, my ride was arranged, everything was ready. I was on my way to the airport when I received a notification that my flight had been canceled due to weather. Of course, I was disappointed, but I told myself, okay, these things happen. So I adjusted my plans. A little later, I was scheduled for another flight. Once again, I got myself together and prepared to leave, and then it happened again. That flight was canceled too. Now I'm not going to sit here and pretend I wasn't frustrated. I was. I had already packed. I had already prepared mentally. I had already made arrangements, and after the second cancellation, I honestly found myself wondering what was going on. Was this trip ever going to happen? Was I supposed to be going at all? By the end of the day, I was tired. Not just physically tired, mentally tired, emotionally tired. You know, the kind of tired that comes when things just keep not going according to plan. I finally went to bed, not knowing exactly how the next day would unfold. Then this morning, I got up and decided, before heading back to the airport for the third time, I was going to attend early church service. And looking back now, I truly believe I was supposed to be there. The title of the message was simple: Go. Just one word: go. The pastor began talking about how the church is not the building. We are the church. The church is not the brick walls, the pews, the pulpit, or the parking lot. The church is us, the people, the body of Christ. He talked about how we are one body with many members, different people, different gifts, different assignments, yet all connected. And then he began speaking about how we carry ourselves, how we represent Christ, how people watch our actions far more than they listen to our words. As I sat there listening, I began thinking about my own life, because it's easy to represent Christ when everything is going well. It's easy to smile when life is cooperating. It's easy to have a good attitude when your plans are working out exactly as you expected. But what about when you're disappointed? What about when you're frustrated? What about when things don't go according to plan? How do you carry yourself then? That message began speaking directly to me. I realized that maybe the lesson wasn't just about going somewhere physically. Maybe it was also about how I go, how I travel, how I treat people, how I respond to inconveniences, how I represent Christ while I'm waiting. And suddenly those canceled flights looked a little different, not because they weren't frustrating, they absolutely were, but because I realized God could still teach me something through them. A few hours later, I found myself back at the airport. Third attempt. Same destination. Different mindset. This time I wasn't focused on yesterday's cancellations. I wasn't focused on what went wrong. I was simply grateful for another opportunity to move forward. And eventually, I boarded the plane. As the plane lifted off the ground, I found myself thinking about how often we fight delays without realizing God may be doing something in the delay. Sometimes we're so focused on the destination that we overlook the preparation. Sometimes we want God to move quickly while God is trying to move deeply. And maybe that's where some of you are right now. Maybe your plans have changed. Maybe something has been delayed. Maybe something you expected hasn't happened yet. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're wondering why things aren't moving faster. But if there's one thing these last 2 days reminded me of, it's this. A delay does not mean God has forgotten you. A delay does not mean your destination has disappeared, and a delay does not mean your journey is over. Sometimes the delay is preparing you for what comes next. Today, I finally made it to Maryland, but honestly, the greatest part of this journey wasn't arriving. It was the lesson I received before I got here, and for that I'm grateful.